Welcome, you guys. I am so excited to be here with you today. I decided to try something a little bit different as I'm just getting back into crafting after a few months break. My daughter found these in the toy section, and with me and my love of fake bake, I had to give them a try. So these are the Miniverse Make It Mini foods. They are in the toy section. They're kind of like the LOL surprise blind bags where you've got to rip open layers and layers to see what you've got. I did find a little tip on how to figure out which one you're going to get. If you look closely at the orange detail on this wrapping, it actually shows you what's going to be inside. So in case you don't want to get doubles, which I surely did not, I went and hunted for those, and you can too. So I'm just getting it all unwrapped right now. I bought 3 of these, so we are going to get through all 3 today. I don't know if you've been following over on my Instagram, but that is where you'll find like a fast forward quick little 1 to 2 minute video of how these are done. But I really wanted to break it down for you guys and give you my review on these in full. Once you've got your ball open, you're going to find all these adorable little packages. They look just like store-bought food, guys. These are amazing. Like, this is supposed to be a kid's toy. This is so impressive. I also forgot to mention these were $14.97 each for each of the balls that you get, which has a full craft in it with all the pieces that you need. These are supposed to be kids' toys, guys. I'm in my mid-30s, and I think these are amazing. The detail on the packaging is incredible. Like these sour worms, so stinking cute. In fact, I decided to save the packaging afterwards because I still think that they would make great tiered tray fillers after the fact, especially because they give you more than enough supplies, guys. I was able to reseal some of these packages, and they're gonna look so cute mixed into my tiered tray. It's so much fun. So I'm just getting everything out and set up, and then I decided doing like resin and stuff, probably not the safest decision on my black coffee table. So I ran and I grabbed a mat to put underneath, and that's what we're gonna do now. So once you've got all your supplies out, you're going to want to get your instructions out. Now, sometimes I broke the rules on the instructions, but it's really simple. Like, put a couple of layers in, stick it out in the sun for the resin to dry, and then bring it in, do another couple layers, and repeat. But it is amazing what you can do with these. So once you've got your cups out of your box, you're going to open up the chocolate pound cake. If you haven't played with this before, it's very interesting. It's essentially kinetic sand. It's sand that's held together by some kind of sticky material, probably like slime, that they've compacted together. My kids love to play with it. Like, we have actual like dirt track sets and stuff that my son plays with. And it's a really fun material. Luckily, he's starting to outgrow it. So I think I'm going to have to make this project in full size, and I might have to steal some of his kinetic sand to do so. These little containers can be tricky to open, guys. My daughter actually had to tell me that there was tape on it. I spent so much time twisting and twisting trying to get these lids off. I couldn't figure out if it was a pop top or if it was a twist open. It was, in fact, a twist open. One thing that I will note, unfortunately, the only thing that I could complain about with these sets is it's kind of hard to get some of the resin out because they're such tiny little bottles. There's not a lot of room to squeeze, but at the end of the day, once the project's done, you don't have to think about that, and you have a really cute piece that your kids could play with, or what I'm going to do is add it to my tiered tray. So we layered the kinetic sand in, and then we took what I guess was supposed to be a caramel or a chocolate sauce, but it's resin. You pour a little bit on top. I like to spin it around a little bit so that way it got a good even coating. Then we have to put it outside for about 5 minutes. It's a UV resin, so you can either use a UV light or just stick it out in the sun, which is what I chose to do, because why bother pulling out the light and stuff when it takes no time at all to set outside. Now I'm going in with another layer of kinetic sand and with more resin. Now, You're supposed to use a shovel to put the kinetic sand in. Guys, I found it easier just to use my finger. It's a little bit tricky to scoop with such a tiny little shovel, but I did find another use for that shovel, which I don't know if you were supposed to do it, but I did, and it was amazing. So now I'm putting in the second layer. We're going to get it outside and then come back in for our last layer. Now is when this really took a fun turn, guys. We got to pull out the sour gummy worms. No joke, they actually felt like little gummy worms. I'm so impressed by this product. It's unbelievable. So then I went ahead, I added in my little pound cake to the cup. I did press it in pretty good. Now, I will say, one thing that I had an issue with was I had overfilled on my pound cake. It worked out in the end, but I would recommend leaving a little bit of space up at the top so that way when you put your little bit of resin on the top, it has somewhere to cling on to. My resin didn't have any way to cling on to, so eventually it did pop off. All I had to do was take the piece that it popped off, pour a little bit more resin, stick it back in, out in the sun for 5 minutes, and it was all fixed. So I put a little bit of resin sitting on top, and then I got to stick in my gummy worms, which are so cute. And then look at these cookies. Like, it looks like a cookie pack that you would pick up at Walmart. Now, these were a 2-pack of little pudding cups, or dirt cups, sorry. My daughter did one, I did one. It was kind of the deal that we had made, although I feel like I got the short end of the stick. Isn't it amazing? I love the little shovel sticking out the top, and hers we stuck to the bottom. So now I have to show you what I thought was going to be my favorite, but I really do like those dirt pudding cups. They are so cute. This one is a cake, guys. It is so stinking cute. And look at the packaging. That looks like a cake you would buy in the grocery store, just shrunken down. So I want to take a moment though first to talk about the little tables that they give in these sets. So stinking cute, perfect for these little toys, but I actually have another plan for them. They're going to be like risers for my mugs and stuff and my tier trays. They're so cute, they're sturdy, they're all different designs. I love it. Now, this cake though, I had to go hunting for it. This is why I found out the secret about how to know what you're getting in your ball, is because I really wanted this cake. I also wanted the Beetlejuice exclusive one. Couldn't find it. I am still hunting because there is a Beetlejuice one out there somewhere for me to find. So I'm going to check other towns this week when we go back to school shopping and hopefully track it down. Once I got all my supplies out, I was ready to go. This one, again, super easy to do. Actually, this one was the fastest of the projects that I did because all it is the cake decorating. I didn't have to make the actual cake. The cake is a hard plastic piece, but the detail on it, very impressive. Now, this is the resin bottle that I struggled with the most, you guys. I don't know why, but because they're so tiny, the squeezing is hard on them. And then because it has a nozzle tip, you're really trying to squeeze it out, that tip. I recommend warming it up in your hands a little bit, like just spin the bottle a little bit. My daughter did that and it was so much easier for her. Then it came with these cute sprinkles. Guys, I still have almost a full jar of sprinkles. It took next to nothing, and that jar is going to look so cute just sitting on the tiered tray next to the cake. I love it. So you can see I'm struggling right now. What I wound up doing was I wound up flipping it upside down, pounding it on the table a little bit, trying to get it going. Adriana, my daughter, is the one that discovered, if you warm it up in your hands upside down, it tends to come out a little bit faster. Once I got it going, though, it was no problem at all. Just, I would not recommend standing it upright in between your layers because it's going to take more time for it to come back down into the tip. Once you get it going, though, like I said, super easy, super cute, and I love the colors, the purple and the green. Very Beetlejuice, especially with that movie coming out this year. Who else is excited for the Beetlejuice movie? I am so stinking excited. Me and the kids have plans to go and see it. It's going to be amazing. And this is definitely getting me in the mood for it. So while I'm getting the last bit of this icing on, I do want to say I did not follow the instructions on this one. On this one, you were supposed to do the layer of icing on the bottom layer of the cake. Put your little sprinkles on, which you'll see I'm about to start doing. I just wanted to show you just a drizzle first. But once you've got that bottom layer on, you are supposed to take it out into the sun and let that resin dry or use your UV light. I thought, oh, it's not a big deal. I can just go right ahead, do the top layer, and take it all out at once. I personally wish I would have followed the instructions. Only because if you let it sit for too long, that resin just keeps flowing over the top and over the edges and down the side. And unfortunately, I got a lot more resin down the side than I wanted. It still turned out amazing. But if you're wanting more of a drip effect as opposed to a pour effect, definitely go stick it out in the sun right away. So, like I said, I didn't do that. So we're just going to continue on the way that I did mine. If you look at Adriana's, I don't actually think I posted it in this video, but I will share a picture of it, whether it be on my Instagram stories or something, and you can see that her drip effect is a little bit different. So now I'm going to add the glaze to the top of my cake. I want you guys to learn from my little slip up here though, okay? See the holes in the top of the cake? Try and remember where those holes are, because what wound up happening is I put the glaze on top and I kind of spun my cake around a little bit, covered it up, put the details and everything on top, totally forgot where my holes were, and wound up making an oops, could not find my holes to put the next pieces in. Not a big deal. I did wind up getting it there, but I wound up shifting a lot of my glaze around, the resin around, which unfortunately made it a little bit thinner. Still worked out perfect. Still looks super cute. Like, these are mistake proof, but learn from my mistakes, because I wish I didn't lose track of those holes. You'll see at the finish, my glaze looks very thin, whereas it would have stayed a lot thicker had I have memorized where those were going. Then we have this really cute icing spiderweb, guys. It is so stinking adorable. It is like a hard plastic, but it's meant to resemble the icing. This is where you're going to see I had a hard time with my holes. So these bats go in on these two sticks and they slide right into the holes, if you remember where your holes are. I didn't, so you see that I'll have to like turn the spider web around, and that's where some of my glaze got a little extra pushed off the top and down to the second layer. Still worked out, still was cute, but it's definitely easier if you remember where those are. So now if you look at the edge of my cake, you can kind of see where the glaze went a little thin, and you could see the white coming through. I just added a little bit more glaze into some of the creases to cover that up. It's turned out perfect in the end. Now, you can use the little tweezers. I didn't find the tweezers were all that necessary, but it does add another layer to the fact that these are amazing kits. They thought of absolutely everything. The sprinkles, the decorations. It is so cute and so easy. Guys, none of these projects took me more than 10 minutes to make. So if you've never gotten into faux food, this is a good start. last and final project, guys. We are doing skeleton drinks. The detail on these cups, can I just take a moment for the Disney fan in me? They look like the poison apples from a Disney movie, like from Snow White. Obviously, because we're going green and it's not colored on the outside, it is not the Snow White poison apple, but the skull heads on the front, they look like it. So I'm just taking that moment for the Disney magic inside of me. Anyways, moving on now. So once you've got your cups out, you are going to grab your toxic green apple resin and pour some of that in. I do recommend following the instructions on how much of this you put in, because it is going to matter when you go to put your decorations inside of it. For example, the little tiny adorable ice cubes that come in what looks like a bag of ice. Guys, the details are so impressive. I don't understand how these balls only cost $14. And might I add, that's 14 Canadian. What is up with that? How are they able to make such cute detailed products for that little amount? If you haven't done resin or faux foods and stuff, some of these pieces you get online, they are expensive. They can be very expensive. So the fact that they were able to put so much good quality, detailed packaging and products in there is amazing. I love it. I will definitely be on the hunt for these in future seasons. I'm a little disappointed because after getting these and becoming obsessed, I found out that they did this last year, and it was like a pumpkin latte and a pumpkin pie. If anybody can get their hands on those, please, I'm begging, I want those. But Halloween is my jam, so I'm plenty happy with these 3 products that I got, and I'm still on the hunt for the Beetlejuice. It's coming. I will find it. I guarantee it. So I'm going ahead and I'm adding some of these gummy bugs into my drink right now, letting some sink to the bottom, and then adding in some ice cubes too to fill it right up. I decided to use the tweezers because, you know, picking up the little ice cubes like you would putting into a real drink, so cute. I got a little spider I'm throwing in there, and then we're going to get this outside to make it hard. Oh wait, no we're not, because I oopsed, guys. This was the boo-boo that I made, and I don't even know how I wound up making this boo-boo. You guys are going to laugh. First, I was just getting all my pieces in there, but what I oopsed on was the whipped cream. The whipped cream goes on after you harden this layer, which I did not do. Guys, my whipped cream started sinking. Don't do that. Okay, follow your instructions. You'll see I have to remove it because I realized that was not right. Whipped cream is supposed to float on top of your drink, not sink down into it. However, you do want to put your straw in right away, because otherwise your straw is not going to be able to get to the bottom of the cup. It will be sitting on top. So after I wound up getting my straw in place, I realized my whipped cream, got the whipped cream taken back out. I wound up having to clean it off with just a little alcohol wipe later. Got my straw put back in place, took it outside like the instructions said to do in the first place, and it's turning out good. So let's get it outside to dry up, and then we'll finish it off. Now that we are back inside, my whipped cream is cleaned off and everything is hardened, it's time to finish off this cute little drink. So what you're going to do is pour in a small amount of the resin, the green toxic apple resin, which I love. It's so cute. It looks like a little pop bottle. Anyways, moving on. Once we get that put in there, we're going to add in a couple little bugs that'll be sticking out the top like gummies. And then we're going to grab our freshly cleaned off whipped cream and add it on top. This is why the little bit of resin on top is important, because otherwise your whipped cream and your gummy worms are just going to fall right back off. Instead, you want just enough to hold on to it. So enough, almost like glue, okay? This layer is your glue amount. It is not your fill the cup amount. I did have to add a little bit more just because of the way the ice and the straw was landing. My whipped cream didn't want to sit nicely in it. So I added a little bit more to give it that grip. And then we were all finished. It was time to get it back out into the sun, harden up, and complete. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you learned something fun or decided if you're going to do this too. If you do, be sure to tag me on Instagram. I want to see your finished product. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we will be back with so much more Halloween goodness coming soon, guys. Thank you. Bye.